Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Xeno, the personification of a cry for help, and we are finally back with more Silverstone. I know, it's been exactly... If I have to determine when I'm gonna post this, it's gonna be like 2 months since the last part. Listen, I am so sorry. I am so sorry. I should really learn to... handle 2 visual novels simultaneously. I don't know, I just get into Dark Horse so much and everything. That's not to disgrace Silverstone at all, it's just that I'm a little bit more invested in Dark Horse's story, but Silverstone's story is really interesting as well. I don't know what's with the deal of the weird Eldritch Jackal being invading Zeke's, like, dreams. And I don't know what disaster is going to loom over this entire friend group. And also the mass exodus and everything, like what happened and why did Zeke forget everything? I have no idea. But anyway, enough fucking around, let's get started, shall we? So that's what we left off on. Silas wanted to talk to us about something, but he wanted to talk to us about it the next day, and Kelsey really seemed adamant on wanting to be a part of it, but Silas refuses, much to her chagrin. We took a little nap on like a grassy field, I believe it was on a cliff with Jake, and then we had a weird dream that we were climbing up the steps of a water tower, and we were hearing the friend group like pleading or something, and we heard gunshots. So that caused me to theorize that the friend group probably did something to Zeke during the mass exodus, and Zeke forgot, and maybe that's why they're all like hesitant to tell him anything, or like they're confused why Zeke doesn't remember anything about it. Also, it turns out when we went outside for like some fresh air at night, when we came back in, Jake wasn't in the bed, so Jake went out somewhere, so we don't know where he is. I'm not too sure what's going on, but it's a little bit suspicious. But anyway, enough fucking around. Let's continue onwards, shall we? As I put on my shirt, microwave hums fill the motel room. The sporadic mechanical pops coming from it doesn't instill me with much confidence in its capabilities. Mason pulls the breakfast burrito out as soon as the loud beep quiets the infernal beast, not even hesitating to take a bite out of it. He doesn't even get the chance to smile at his meal, spitting the bite out into a tissue before looking at the expiration date on the wrapper. Cold and rancid. The dog weakly tosses the burrito into the garbage bin, taking a long sip of his soda and gargling. You're gonna be okay? Yeah, I'll just order something there, I guess. I swear I could hear Mason's wallet cry for help at the thought of buying bar food before happy hour. Light bursts into the room as Jake returns. Neither Mason nor I saw him when he woke up this morning. Mason assumed that Jake had just gone out on an early morning walk, but I had my doubts. Although I think Mason does now too, seeing the shoulders of the raccoon's coat dark and damp. Where have you been? Oh! Jake brushes past him to the restroom, turning on the sink as he enters. He grabs his toothbrush, lathering it with spearmint toothpaste before he answers. I went for a swim. Even Mason shoots a judging look at the raccoon, given how filthy the pool was when we last saw it. Jake keeps at a distance, not even shouting back at the two of us. Are you okay, man? Jake nods, though ever so slightly. Foam from the toothpaste is all over his chin and his spit is running down onto his hand. I just didn't see you when I woke up last night or this morning, so... Wait, you woke up last night? Mason's interruption gives Jake an out, turning around, then closing the door behind him. The dog, almost as if he senses my irritation, looks away and takes a long and loud slurp of soda. Honestly, I don't know how you slipped through it. I fell out of bed and everything. Wait, really? Yeah, I'm fine. I checked the time on my phone. By now we're officially late. I pulled the curtains back a bit, expecting to see the other 3 standing outside waiting for us. To my surprise, however, neither them nor Kelsey's SUV are anywhere to be seen. Hey, did you run into the others when you got your soda? No, I just got and came back. Why? Kelsey's car isn't here. Wait, they already left without us? It only crosses my mind for a moment, but I wonder if Jake's uncharacteristic attitude and the others leaving has anything to do with last night. Our ears perk as the water stops inside the bathroom. Jake steps out, wiping his chin with his jacket sleeve. I ran into them as I was coming back. You did? Why didn't you mention anything? Fuck, I don't know. Slipped my mind, I guess. Hey, no need to yell. Jake crosses his arms, digging a finger into one of them. He kissed the ground with one of his legs. His tail dropped between them. Sorry, I had a bad night. Maybe you two should stay here if you aren't well rested. No, I'll be fine. Let's just get some drinks. As Jake walks out of the motel room, Mason and I stare at each other. I can instantly tell that he's just as unconvinced as I am. He grabs his keys after some brief hesitation, then heads outside to where the raccoon sits, propped up against the truck, with a cigarette in his mouth. I turn off the lights as I follow, a huge lump sitting in my throat as the room becomes bathed in shadow. The silence of Silverstone is deafening, even compared to the car ride there. None of us has said a word for the entirety of the 10-minute ride. Mason had tried his best to make an attempt, opening his jaw once or twice as if he was going to speak, but even he was lost for words. He pulls up behind Kelsey's SUV, where the others are standing in what seems to be their own awkward dilemma. Even if the town had been fully crowded, just their anxious aura is enough to give them a spotlight. I jump as Mason turns the truck off, and he gives an apologetic look. Despite his usual obliviousness, even he is sensing something's wrong. When Jake gets out of the car, he immediately pulls out his pack of cigarettes. He's about to light one when Kelsey storms over, her presence alone being intimidating. You'll just have to put that out when we get in there, you know? Jake side-eyes her, giving an exasperated grunt before shoving the cigarette back in his package. He stretches at his arm, walking towards the back of the truck as the others come over. June looks like he wants to bury himself 6 feet under, while Silas looks as if he didn't sleep at all last night. My own rude awakening doesn't seem so bad now. Mason claps his hands together, trying to alert the others to his attention. He's smiling again, but his eyebrows give away just how fake the attempt is. So, Sam's? Yeah? Oh, right. Well, like I said, it's a 2-for-1 special, so we can just get 3 orders of them and we'll be set. I don't really know if... Alright, let's go then. Kelsey starts walking off to the bar, ignoring the badger's shocked look. Mason and Silas follow, though at a much slower pace. Come on, don't want to keep them waiting. Jake, what happened last night? And does that have something to do with Kelsey? Because Kelsey seems a little bit more irritated than she was yesterday, even though she was a bit irritated that day too, considering Silas wanted to talk to us alone without her. So, but like something happened between you two. Did you talk to her last night? If so, what happened? Jake walked ahead, leaving June and I alone for the first time since yesterday. Both of us are more focused on the others to pay attention to anything else, however. Dude, have the others been weird too? I mean, Mason's been Mason. Jake, though. I guess Silas has been alright. Kelsey's been a bitch this entire morning, though. Is there something going on with Kelsey and Jake? Well, on the way up, things were tense. Neither of them would tell me anything, though. We look over to the entrance, and it's a sorry sight. Mason and Silas are looking over the bar's menu posted in the window. Jade is taking a Ross in the street, and Kelsey is scrolling on her phone almost with a scowl on her face. Dude, this fucking sucks. Tell me about it. Let's just get this over with and do something else. I get what June means, but the whole atmosphere just makes me want to crawl back in bed. Even another nightmare would be better than this. Actually, on second thought, never mind. Yeah. Do you really want to see another nightmare? Do you really want to see another nightmare? Or the jackal again? I swear to God, I doubt you'll want to see that abomination ever again. Although the jackal did say he was going to see us when the disaster is closer, I believe. Something about that being and what happened during the mass exodus is so strange. I want to know. I really want to know. The Badger and I head toward the bar, catching the others' attention. Mason holds the door open as Kelsey, Silas, and Jake enter. June goes in right away, but I look back towards the empty town one last time. Somehow the place that caused so many headaches is calming me down for once. Mason nudges me and I return to looking inside. The darkly lit bar, blanketed by blue and pink neon lights, is oppressive from the outside. It doesn't feel inviting in the slightest. Despite the unwelcoming aura, I still enter. And we fade to black. The door makes a loud bang when Mason lets go of it as he comes in. Our shadows disappear into the darkness as the sun from outside gets locked away. We're immediately met by the eyes of Silverstone residents where the sunlight dims, piercing through the darker parts of the establishment. For such an empty town, Sam's is packed full of people. Most of them look like they're in their 50s or 60s, probably too afraid to face change after the exodus. Despite the amount of people, the bar looks neglected. Some corners of the room are pitch black. The floor is sticky with fur pasted on it, and only one of the pinball machines is lit. Jake has already strolled over to the bar. The only other people sitting there are Walrus and a clearly drunk tiger, who both sneer at him. The raccoon doesn't seem to notice, though. Instead, he's stretching his arm and I just see his mouth twitching, as if he's muttering something. I wish Jake would kick his smoking habit, but that one cigarette might have been the key to calming him down after all. Silas, June, and Kelsey have already picked a table out for us. 2 chairs have been carelessly dragged over and are now standing in the way of the other people in the bar. June's face is buried deep in a menu, while Silas stares at the artwork on the wall. It depicts what looks to be pioneers sailing down in Silverstone, although the surrounding wallpaper is becoming a bit worn. Mason nudges my side with a concerned expression on his face as I'm pulled away from my thoughts. An old vixen and someone whom I can only assume to be her son glare at me as they wait for me to move away from the exit. Oh, sorry. The woman lets out an exasperated scoff as I move, though her son seems more tired than anything. The brief burst of light blinds me as we're illuminated by pinks and blues once again. Let's just order drinks and then check out the menu, okay? Yeah, sure. Seeing Mason so spent in the morning feels unnerving. I'm trying to find something to say that would cheer him up, but my mind comes up as dark as the corners of the building itself. He does give me a grin, though, as if he knew what I was thinking about. The dog shoves his hands into his shorts before I head to the bar. I follow along while trying to avoid as many customers' gazes as possible. Jake doesn't seem to notice us as we approach, his face quickly morphing into a scowl as he digs his fingers into his fur. As Mason is about to talk to him, he suddenly turns to the bar, opting to peruse the drinks while waiting for the bartender to come our way. Oh, that's a new sprite. Against my better judgment, I put my hand on Jake's back. He briefly flinches before going back to scratching his arm. Jake? You're gonna hurt yourself if you keep doing that. Hey, I'm not asking you to stop, I'm telling you to. Jake cocks an eyebrow at me, letting a deep sigh escape him. He rests his hand on the bar before stretching his body across it. That was oddly easy. I sit down next to him, the three of us awkwardly darting our eyes around as we wait. It feels like no matter where I look, someone's eyes are on me. Mason's patience ends as he flags down the bartender. He towers over the rest of us and I can swear his fingers brush against the ceiling as he waves. My anxiety spikes as I feel something poke my arm, but it's just Jake. He is holding a pink straw in his left hand and reaching across the other arm to prod me. Jesus, you could have said something, man. Sorry, Well, I didn't think you'd be so on edge. Jake's expression is genuinely guilty. He tries to save face with a teasing tone, but it's a bit more pitiful than usual. You and Kelsey are making us all tense, man. I thought you were gonna talk to her. I try to keep my frustration quiet, but some of the volume screams out passive whispers. Jake brings his arms in, half burying his face into them. I know, Hey, get your head off the bar. The bartender finally arrives, cleaning a glass before flicking Jake's forehead. He doesn't seem pissed, more so annoyed if anything. If you don't have a love us quarrel, take it somewhere else. I have business to do here. Jake tries to retort, but withdraws into himself rather quickly. A giant groan bells out from him as he swivels away from the bar. I just see him shivering as he starts to walk away, and I almost fall out of my own chair trying to tug on his jacket. Hey dude, he's not kicking you out or anything. Zeke. That made me flinch. The raccoon's tone is sharp and serious, without any playfulness or added sarcasm. I really need to talk to you. Come out back within the next 5 minutes, if you can. What, Jake? The raccoon speeds outside before I could get more details. I managed to spot him pulling out his pack of cigarettes before he exits the bar, though. The fuck? Keep it down a bit, will you? Waving my head to the bartender, I finally get a good look at him. He's relatively well dressed for a small place like this. His stare is cold jaded. An uncaring air swirls around him. His towel, the one he was using to clean glasses, is now draped over his shoulder. Mason, in the meanwhile, is sipping on some coke. Disengaged from the situation at hand, he seems to be more at ease. I can't say I blame him, though. I'm fine if you say shit, fuck, or whatever. My other customers might not be, though. Your friend will be okay after a smoke or two. What a charming personality. Anyway, your other friend here said you were planning on getting 3 pairs of silver bullets for your table back there. Mason looks away as he says that. He never did like people calling us friends instead of brothers. Yeah, we heard there was a special or something? I assume you want to hear the urban legend behind it then. Mason's ears instantly perk up, making him turn back to the bartender. His tail wags ferociously and I have to move my leg away to not get hit. I want to hear it! Stories like that are fascinating to me! The bartender's brows lower in exasperation as he pinches his brow before dipping under the bar. God, I hate giving this stupid speech. His whispers doesn't escape my ears. The man returns from the underworld with 6 cocktail glasses as well as 3 bottles. There's also a metal glass that I don't recognize, probably due to my inexperience with alcohol. He pops open 2 of the bottles, one full of amber fluid and the other clear, before pouring them into the metal glass. The sound of ice clinks out, and I can tell he's eyeballing the portions. Our attention is turned away, however, as he begins the story. In the 1910s, people started to move to Silverstone after an Arkansas fox stumbled upon a cave of silver veins. Eventually, it was a much smaller California gold rush. Still brought attention to the town, though. So, miners will often work long hours and sneak in alcohol to drink during the night. That sounds extremely dangerous. The bartender puts his hand on the mixing glass, finally pulling the bar spoon out of it. He gives it a taste, wincing before putting it in a tub of water. Said the burn kept him up at night. We all know they just want to get wasted, though. Anyway, in one of the mines close by, they often stash their unfinished balls to later pull them together during the longer nights. The night this drink was finally created saw the birth of a romance and the death of 2 miners. Having poured the cocktail into 6 glasses, the bartender begins to peel rind off a lemon to garnish the drink. One of the miner's daughters arrived to try to bring her father home for some rest. She met one of the younger workers and they hit it off. Got married by spring. Turns out he treated her to this right here. His nose tapped against the glass, a small ping ringing through the air before he returns to making lemon twists. However, her father, aka his superior, didn't exactly give love that day. They had a drink over a talk about payment that turned violent. By morning, folks were cleaning their bodies up from the bottom of a mine elevator. The fuck? What the hell? Oh, that they fell down. I try to look for something to say, but just the thought of 2 men falling that far down makes me ill. Mason looks just as disgusted with a hint of incredulousness creeping through. His eyes dart to the dirty bar floor as he lets out a violent cough. Don't worry, it's probably a load of crap. Sensationalism sells. Probably. Do you want customers to buy your food or not? I'd rather be naked at home right now, but life kicks you in the balls. Mason swivels on his foot and walks over to the pinball machine. I can't blame him. This bartender hasn't exactly been the cheerful sort. Honestly, I relate to him. But yeah, that's the Silver Bullet. A drink that bonds souls forever. It's kind of creepy that it actually works, though. I've served a few couples who were total strangers when they first met here. Yeah, I call bull, man. All I'm saying is, be careful who you share your drink with. Not on me if you make the wrong choice. Like a dark messenger, the bartender disappears into the shadows of the bar. In front of me are 6 drinks. Gin, whiskey, and lemon twists about to fall out of their glasses. I swear I could see the drink smoking, but the haze disappears after I blink. I chalked it up to just me being completely drained already. I picked up 2 of the cocktails, swirling the one I'll give to someone in my right hand. I don't like the idea of my fate being tied to someone else's. It doesn't help that there's so much tension right now. Fuck! Who am I even supposed to give this to? What is happening? No. Who am I supposed to give this to? Now, is this... I should really reread the fucking description of this visual novel. I need to see. Give me just a quick second. Is this a romance? It looks like only Mason's route is currently updated right now, so I guess I'll just choose him, but I'm not sure how to feel about that. They are adopted brothers after all. I don't know. Kind of gives domestic girlfriend in a sense. Oh, whatever, let's do this. I looked over to Mason at the pinball machine while debating giving the cocktail to him. Loud thumps ring throughout the air as he hammers the button on the right side. Is it faulty? Silas settles up to the counter with June, each taking 2 of the drinks. June returns to the table relatively quickly, though he isn't good at hiding the groan he lets out. You holding up alright? Mostly. Just thinking about maybe sharing this special with Mason. Oh. Silas tries to turn back to the table quickly, but the disappointment in his eyes makes me pause before he leaves. What? Hey, you alright? He doesn't turn to face me when he responds. Yeah, I'm fine. Don't worry about me. Of course, him saying that just makes me worry about the big bear. I start to go after him, but a small smirk he gives me over his shoulder catches me off guard. With the urban legend, I just thought we could do this together, and then I could... You could what? Font! Why turn the updated silences around first? I want to be with the bear. I want to be the bear so badly. Please. Ugh! Salsa's comment is interrupted by a loud bang that causes everyone, even the bartender, to look at the entrance. Jake is standing in front of the light coming in from the outside, though his stature makes the appearance more comical than menacing. What? The customers go back to drinking and talking with each other, though their slowness makes me think it was more out of disinterest than because of his barking. Jake comes to us, his entire gait completely agitated before brashly taking the drinks from Silas. The bear tries to stammer something out before withdrawing into himself. I'll take these to the table for you. And Zeke? Yeah? The raccoon stretches his eyes closed as he takes a big breath. When he exhales, one of the glasses fogs up a bit. He doesn't hesitate to take a sip. Talk to me once this is over, alright? Okay. I watch as Jake gives Kelsey the other drink at the table. He fidgets as he sits down, rapidly hammering his foot against the floor as he drinks more of the cocktail. Trying to get the conversation back on track, I turn back to Silas and pat his arm, albeit a bit awkwardly. So, what were you saying? What? Oh! I lost my train of thought. Sorry. I'm just gonna... The bear doesn't even finish his sentence. Instead, he slides my hand off his arm and sits down next to June, who offers his remaining drink to him. Now, even if I didn't want to give Mason the silver bullet, I'd have no choice. Well, technically he had a lot of choices, but his route is currently updated right now, so, yeah. I can't help but wonder what's with everyone today as I head over to the pinball machines. Mason's concentration is so intense that he doesn't even notice me approaching with the drinks. I glance at the score on the backboard and it's abysmal, to say the least. I finally get his attention when he whacks me in the stomach while preparing to hit the flipper again. I can't help but hack out puffs of air as the game over sound begins to play. Mason picks me up by my armpits as I start to fall. He takes the drinks out of my hands while I attempt to catch my breath. Crap, are you okay? Never better. I struggle to spit out that reply. Lean against one of the broken machines. Mason's confused look stares back and forth between the glasses. You want to share the special with me? He half laughs as he says that. Hearing it out loud makes me realize how weird it sounds. I mean, I don't know. Jake and Kelsey are acting weird. I think Silas wanted to share with me, but Jake fucked him over. Plus, it's been hard to get a read on June this whole trip. But the whole thing about these is that our fates will be tied together once we drink them. Signed, sealed, delivered. No take backsies. You don't want to do that with someone you could, like, I don't know, date or something? I can feel my face and ears heat up as Mason jokes about that. If I wasn't leaning against this machine, my tail would have shot up like a cartoon character. Shut up, man. Look, just think of it as like us celebrating seeing each other again. That story can't actually be real, right? Alright, I'll drink already. Mason hands me one of the glasses and we clink them together. He pretty much downs it in one gulp, but I let out a nasty cough as the alcohol burns my insides. The dog rubs my back before it returns to the pinball machine, sliding more quarters into the barely functioning contraption. He isn't as fierce as earlier, though. No longer hammering the side buttons. If anything, he looks distracted. What's up? Huh? Oh, it's just... You look really tired is all. I feel really tired, that's for sure. I should only groan and fall back into one of the machines, quickly earn the ire of a regular. I'm not, like, physically tired. Emotionally drained, maybe? I just wish the others would get over their bullshit already so we could have a fun vacation. The chimes and bells of the machine fall silent before Mason pulls me up. He looks deadly serious, his smile completely wiped off his face. Okay, I think we need to go back to the motel now. What? No, Mason, that's not what I'm saying. Face it, Zeke. No one is having any fun right now. I don't need to look at the others to know that. I can practically feel it from over here. So you want us to walk all the way to the motel when the day has just barely started? We can play cards or some games. Better than being stuck in Drama Central. I'm almost taken aback by Mason's tone. It's more authoritative. Bitter even. I guess he feels partly responsible since he was the one who proposed the idea of the trip in the first place. Still though. Did you bring any multiplayer games with you? Huh? What the fuck was that for? Oh god, God fucking damn it. I don't want to deal with this right now. We don't even need to turn to figure out what happened. Kelsey's voice is almost feral as she screams. It isn't even out of annoyance, but sheer unbridled rage. I'm almost afraid to peer over Mason's shoulder to see what's going on, but staying out of this doesn't seem like an option. Oh, Mason's fucking angry right now. Oh shit, this is the first. Kelsey's fangs are bared as she stares Jake down. His face is full of confusion, but equally charged with anger. I can see the left arm of his coat is wet, probably from the glass knocked over on the table. Silas and June look downright frightened. The bomb that's been building over the past few days seems to have finally become unstable, with the entire bar watching its explosion. Sorry I hit the glass you placed right next to my arm, dipshit! Oh, it's my fault then! Yeah, because everything in your life is my fault, isn't it, Jake? What the? That's not remotely what I fucking said! Mason doesn't even hesitate. His presence already tells me that he's not going to let this happen. He walks no. He storms over to the table and I briefly catch him laying out a light growl. Both of you, shut it! Whoa! Oh, he's so angry. I'm not gonna lie, when having to lucky people get angry is kind of hot. So, what the hell is wrong with you two? Don't you remember what the bartender said, Jake? As I hurry over to the table, I notice the fire in Mason's eyes. Seeing him so enraged makes me stumble back. Then I notice what caused the argument. Kelsey's right shoulder and arm are soaked in the remains of her drink. She ferociously attempts to pat herself dry, but the smell of alcohol sticks to her like glue. Well? I just knocked over her drink. It was an accident. This obviously isn't about the stupid drink anymore, Jake. Stupid? Mason seems pretty into the whole idea last night. Is this how he really feels? Of course it's not! Well then, what is it, Kelsey? Tell the whole fucking bar what you think. You say that word one more time and I swear to God. Oh, like you could hurt anyone, Mason. Okay, this is what I really think of you. Huh? The rest of us stare at Kelsey confused. She's snarling and chuckling to herself, and I can practically hear the bomb dropping on our table. You're a selfish, inconsiderate, and downright creepy asshole. What the hell are you going on about? Hell, I can say the same thing about you. You haven't changed since we left this show of a town. Your parents were abusive assholes? Big freaking whoop. It doesn't mean you get to be awful to everyone else. What did you just say? Jason looks like he's about to jump over the table and claw at Kelsey. I want to shut them up, but I can't help but feel like I need to hear the full story. Silas and June slide out of their seats and make a beeline for the exit. The bartender is staring straight at us, his gaze full of rage. I can see his knuckles turn white under his fur, and I gulp as I turn back to the others. Guys, we need to quiet. You're not the saint you made yourself out to be either, Kelsey. Oh yeah? You're such a hypocrite, you know that? Yeah, my parents sucked, but your parents were strict as hell, and you used that as a shield for how you're at. That's different. Is it though? Is it? Guys, shut the hell up. Oh, I know. Let's have some fun. Right here, right now. Why did you tell Zeke why you want him by your side 24/7? Honestly, I went Jake on this one. Kelsey, what the fuck's going on? What's going on? Listen, Kelsey, I want to see the good in you. I'm going to see the good in you. Because I'm sick and tired of people hating on complex female characters because they're complex. But when a man does the exact same thing, they get praised for it. So, Kelsey, what you do will not determine how I feel about you as a character. But I will say this, we do not need another Jenna, okay? Although Jenna was a special case right there. Anyway, you don't exactly have the best poker face. And whenever Zeke and I are around each other, you always look like you want to tear my guts out. First, why don't you tell Zeke about the messages you sent me? Wait, messages? What are you two talking about? Shut your trap, Kelsey. Jade tries to sound threatening, but his voice trembles as he tries to get Kelsey to stop. I love the man, but he really needs to learn when to shut the fuck up. What's the matter? Can't deal with the consequences of your actions? Can't deal with the fact that you would text me at 2 a.m. asking how he is? That you would die if I didn't pick you up from the airport? You're a fucking creep, Jake. You only wanted to go on this trip to get your dick wet. Listen, you bitch. Can you all just shut the fuck up? The entire bar stares at me. I grasp my throat after taking a few deep breaths. That yell was guttural, almost inhuman. Unsurprisingly, the bartender walks over to us. He wipes my neck with his towel, and I shiver as a sharp pain flows up to my head. You four, get the hell out of my bar. Gladly. Kelsey storms her way out. The patrons avert their gaze as she makes her way to the exit. Jake, however, is trembling. I'm not... The raccoon is looking at me the entire time, as if he's about to break down. He wipes his eyes before running out of the back exit, probably to avoid Kelsey. You two as well. Get out. Mason looks remorseful, standing at the bar as if to say he's sorry. He taps my shoulder, and I set my drink down on the sticky table. Sorry. Save it. Get out. Mason grabs my shoulder and guides me to the exit as I begin to space out from the fight. I just want everyone to stop staring at me. While the sea air is a welcome scent compared to the alcohol of Sam's, it doesn't shake me out of my thoughts. I'm so overstimulated that every negative emotion washes over me. Sadness, anger, anxiety. The world feels like it's getting further and hazier as I zone out. Mason still has his hand on my shoulder, gripping it tight. A bit too tight, actually. As if I'm on autopilot. I shove it off of me and start to walk away from the bar with my eyes on the ground. Zeke? So, Jake only wanted to come here to meet me again? Huh? I don't know if he actually wanted to fuck me, though. Kelsey might have been exaggerating for all I know. I mean, she's right that Jake was a shithead as a kid, but he seems more mellow now, doesn't he? But if he did only want to fuck, can I really trust what he's saying about Kelsey? She's been acting a bit clingy and overprotective, but I thought that was just because we go to college together. That's normal, right? And Mason's anger. Do I actually know these people anymore? I like to argue that I didn't even know them at all, even before the Exodus. Considering you forgot about the Exodus, and they probably did listen to you during that Exodus, and they conveniently forgot. I never thought I would say I want to go back to Texas. Now that I look at it, the sand on the sidewalk looks pretty under the sun. The glare can be a bit sharp, and it sure isn't comfortable under my feet, but it looks nice. How long have I been walking? It doesn't look like I've made much progress, but everything feels slow. Probably just too much going on in my head. Are Jude and Silas okay? They bolted out a bit early. I wonder where they went. I can hear the sound of tires slowly rolling up behind me. It has a loud engine, whatever kind of car it is. The sound grows louder as the car pulls up next to me. My fixation on the ground distracts me from making out the driver and model. Probably just a Mormon mom driving her kid around to hand out pamphlets or something. I don't pay much mind at first, but a familiar voice pulls me out of my daze. Zeke! Oh, we did 2 CGs! Yay! I look up next to me and see Mason peeking out of his truck window, his face full of worry. He's driving much slower than I thought he was, and I realize just how little progress I have actually made through the town. The dog reaches his arm out, trying to grab my shoulder. He fails, and the awkwardness holds for a second before he sets it on the side of the door. What are you doing? I'm going back to the motel. Through the trail? What do you think? I instantly regret the cold reply, but Mason stops driving and exits the vehicle. He then grabs me by the arms and turns me towards him. My frosted gaze seems to stare at the poor dog, who lets out a small gasp once I look at him. He folds his arms, donning a serious expression. Personally, I want to go back too. But, in your condition, I don't think it's safe for you to walk on that trail. Mason's right. I'm not as much of a daredevil as Jake, and I'd likely step on a needle in my stupor. A deep sigh escapes me, and I head over to the other side of the car. Seeing the back without Jake in it feels weird, but I don't really want to deal with all that right now. We can come back later, don't worry. Mason tries to cheer up with a smile, but ever since we were kids, I could tell what was real and what was a facade. I don't know. I just kind of want to sleep. Oh. Well, okay. I open the door, but before I could get in, the big dog stops me again. Hey, Zeke. I'm really sorry about today. This isn't what I had planned. Why are you apologizing? It's not your fault everything blew up like that. It just feels like it is. Kelsey and Jake just let everything build up. You didn't do anything wrong, Mason. Mason gives me a small but much warmer smile. It's still full of guilt, and I can't help but feel like I need to give the big guy a hug. Let's just go back and hang out for a bit, okay? Alright. Although he seems reluctant, the dog gets into his car and pulls it back into drive, leaving me to quickly jump in and buckle myself in. It's the quietest car ride I've had yet. The silence between Mason and me has transferred to the room, though I can hear him crunching on some pretzels we've bought at a convenience store. They actually have some halfway decent food there, but the mood to eat anything escapes me. I continuously refresh our group chat to see if there are any updates, whether Jake and Kelsey talked it out or Jude and Silas are alright. Mason stops eating his food and looks at me with his ears crestfallen. He tosses the pretzel bag back into a larger one on the desk. The dog then goes over to the mini fridge and pulls out one of the items I have bought. A rather pathetic egg salad sandwich. Mason, I'm Really not in the mood to eat right now. Zeke, you barely eaten anything today. All you had for breakfast was a bagel with cream cheese. Still more than you had, I whisper internally. Mason walks up and tries to push the boxed sandwich towards me. I don't know what comes over me, but I slap the sandwich out of his hand. The plastic box collapses open and its contents spill onto the bed. Great! Just fucking great! Mason runs to the bathroom to get some toilet paper while I stare at the egg and mayonnaise already staining the sheets. I can feel my nose scrunch up and my eyes start to burn as everything boils to the surface. Don't cry. Don't you dare fucking cry. Mason returns and starts to clean up the mess, although his attempt doesn't go smoothly. I made the mistake of letting out a loud sniff, which turns the dog's attention over to me while he's striding over to the trash can. Hey, you alright? What do you fucking think? I know I shouldn't be snappy. Mason doesn't deserve that. I'm just so done with everything by now that I can't hold it back anymore. Mason's smile distorts, clearly not expecting my tone to be so sharp. He nonetheless puts his hand on my shoulder, but all I can think of is how it smells like egg. It's no big deal, man. It's just a sandwich. It's not the fucking sandwich, Mason! The dog reels back, pulling his hand away as my anger erupts. I jump off the bed and can't help but pace across the room as my mouth starts to run. Change his turn to talk shit out with Kelsey, and look where that led us. I don't even give a fuck about what the drama was anymore. I mean, maybe. Oh, and Kelsey? She's not any better, giving him the cold shoulder like a high schooler and trying to direct people into her plans. Well, June says he wants to resolve shit, but he doesn't do anything. He just whines about how no one else is trying. Okay, no need to. And Silas is just letting people push him around. Like, you're the tallest of us all. Grow a spine, man. Zeke! I am not recovered from being sick, so... Damn, my throat hurts. Also, this is the third video I've recorded today, so... There's that. I almost fall as Mason yells. He bares his jowls as he looks at me, his arms crossed tight over his chest. My fingers tremble as I come back to my senses. A pit forms in my stomach, like I'm going to throw up at any minute. I feel faint. No, it's more like I want to force myself to throw up. What the fuck is wrong with me? Don't you think it's just a bit unfair to be saying that stuff about our friends? Yes, they have faults. I'm not perfect either. But for God's sake, what the hell is wrong with you? What would you have said about me, Zeke? Huh? If I hadn't stopped you, what would you have said about me? That you're forcing positivity on us, and being just a bit too clingy. Mason doesn't say anything in response. He just stands there, tapping one of his arms with a loose finger. After what feels like an eternity, the dog sighs and loses his hold on himself. He reaches back into the large bag for what I guess is his pretzels. Instead, he pulls out the vegetable straws I bought, not exactly shoving them into my chest, but lightly prodding me at least. You need to eat. Mason, I told you I'm not. Eat, Zeke. Get some food in your system. I hesitate for a moment before grasping the bag. A small smile stretches across Mason's face, but I can't tell how genuine it is. I'm sorry about everything, I guess. It's been a rough few hours, and it hasn't exactly been a great trip either, if I'm being honest. Let's head out once you're done. It's really stuffy in here, so that's probably making things worse for the both of us. Now that he mentions it, the air in the motel room feels strangely stagnant. I run my hand across my forehead, surprised to find it damp. We should also get you some water back at that convenience store. Why? There's water here. I know I'm the quote-unquote positive one, but do you actually trust the water from the motel bathroom? I guess my face screams you have a point since the dog chuckles a bit. The next few minutes are filled only by much noises until we hear the door unlock. Oh, shit. The raccoon looks like he's trapped in the headlights as he enters. He's about to backpedal into the parking lot before Mason grabs him. Mason, what the fuck are you doing? Ow! Ow, let go of me! Mason yanks Jake into the room and I fall back onto the bed as the raccoon stumbles towards me. Crap, I didn't think anyone was gonna be here. What the hell is wrong with you? You got enough popcorn to sit through that? Fuck off! Start talking! I shrink back as Jake looks at me, incredulous. To be fair, I didn't expect Mason to get so violent about this. Jake lets out an exasperated sigh before turning away from the both of us. What little I can catch of his expression seems to be filled with guilt and embarrassment. Fine. I'd been messaging Kelsey privately before our trip because I wanted some advice on how to... Jake's voice starts to get shaky as he trails off. I turn to Mason, who is expectedly waiting for an answer. I guess it would be hypocritical of me to tell him to calm down. I wanted some relationship advice. I wanted to ask someone out, but I came off a bit strong. She got rightfully fed up with me and started ignoring my private messages. That's why I asked you to contact her first at the airport. This whole thing was over some stupid relationship drama? Mason's yell makes Jake whirl his head back to us. It's only now that I notice his eyes are puffy and red, with streaks of fur darkening under them. Yeah, it was like she said. I couldn't keep it in my pants and I ruined everything. Jake is a giant fuck up. Happy now? Okay, I think this is getting out of hand. Mason, you were just telling me to calm down too. Mason's expression softens, albeit a bit slowly. Now he's the one dressed in guilt. No, I'm not. I'm sorry. That was out of line. You didn't ruin everything. All of us have been on edge lately. Jake closes up a bit, clearly not believing Mason. Not that I can blame him. He was strong-armed into the room after all. We also need to hear Kelsey's side of things too. She's not blameless in all this. I was going to go look for her, but I wanted to rest first. I'm also drunk as shit. Oh god, please tell me you didn't purchase a whole sets pack after we got kicked out. Jake doesn't reply, opted to fall on the bed with a groan. I can't help but feel curious about who he wanted advice for, though. If I use their argument in a bar to whittle down the options, then it has to be... Mason taps my shoulder. I can tell he wants to use this opportunity to get us out of the room. I put my bag of chips away and slowly head out before Mason, who made sure to turn the lights off as he closes the door. For once, I'm glad to be assaulted by the cold wind of Silverstone's beach. The crisp air is refreshing after being stuck inside that room. A sharp shiver goes up to my spine, however, as more water splashes against my ankles and feet. Mason wanted to check out the tide pools at the right time, though it's getting a bit late for that. The dog is sitting in a rather awkward position as he attempts to take a picture of a crab stumbling across my arm. This creature is surprisingly cooperative. It didn't even pinch Mason when he picked it up to put it on my hand. Although, I have to say that I'm getting less confident in my ability to balance it as it gets closer to my shoulder. Hey, how much longer till you get the shot? Oh, not too long, don't worry. Okay, I'm just getting wet and I don't want to commit marine manslaughter. Mason lets out a goofy chuckle at that, even though I wasn't trying to make a joke. By this point, I'm more unnerved by the tapping noises reaching my ears than the crustacean potentially falling off my back. Tit-tat-tap, tit-tat-tap. I do my best not to shake, and a huge sense of relief washes over me as I hear the mechanical click ring out of Mason's phone. The dog pushes his ear away from his right eye as he examines the photo. I tense up again, hoping he doesn't need another shot. His smile confirms he doesn't, though, and I slightly bend over. I also realize that I have subconsciously been holding in my breath this entire time. Mason gently takes the crab off my arm and I run out of the tide pools. My kids send water everywhere. Hey, watch the phone! Sorry! Thankfully, Mason's phone isn't a victim of Grand Theft Aqua, as it's still nice and dry by the time I get a towel to dry myself. Mason flashes a huge grin as he comes over and sits next to me. He pulls out the photo for me to look at, holding back snickers as he does. Wow! It's taking Mason everything to not burst out laughing at the result of my life choices. I look like a goddamn robot who has never seen marine creatures before. Looking great! Hardy har har. Despite the sarcasm and awkward posing, I do love the picture. Regardless of how it was made, it doesn't look manufactured. The emotions I give off overwhelm the fact that he carefully placed the crab on me for the shot. The imperfections from the sunlight also make it more real, I guess. As Mason puts the photo away, I notice the high amount of pictures in his gallery. I'm not a huge photo guy, but even I can tell that he has a lot. I point out the number, nearly tapping his phone as I do so. His face gives off a playful irritation, as if he's had this conversation multiple times. The laugh he follows it up with confirms it. Why so many? Are there a lot of duplicates? Nah, I just... The dog takes a pause, seemingly trying to find the right words. I guess it's a weird phobia of mine. Phobia? What do you mean? I guess after I learned what happened when you woke up after the Exodus, I developed a fear of losing my own memory. Taking pictures kinda eases my mind. Since then, people would be able to show me stuff and I can remember it, I guess. I just never thought about it like that. An idea sparks in my brain as I put things together. There has to be photos of the Exodus, right? Mason probably doesn't have any, but Salas might. There's also the library. Though I am just a bit scared of how Mason would react if he found Kelsey there. Still, it's a part of the reason I even went on this damn trip. Mason, do you... Hey, it's okay if I send this to Dad, right? Huh? Why wouldn't it be? Just figured I should ask first. My irritation lingers as Mason smiles at me. But his request is at least sweet. It has been a very long time since Dad has seen me, after all. Yeah, it's fine. Awesome! Now to find somewhere with a signal. Maybe the library has a few bars? I guess it could. Why? Do you want to see if they have something there? You could say that. I stretch the back of my head as I suggest we go there. The grimace on Mason's face confirms my fears. A bit of anger seeps through his eyes as he folds his arms in. I don't particularly want to see Kelsey either, but it's going to be inevitable. Look, I'll take care of Kelsey if we see her. You can just head to the back and try to text Dad, alright? Fine. The dog's voice deepens as he responds. I delay picking up the towels from the log I set them on, curious about his attitude. Mason? Yeah? I need you to be honest with me, so give it to me straight. Are you okay? I don't know what you mean by that. I grab Mason's arm, squeezing a bit tighter than I mean to. It actually seems to break him out of his little tantrum. His eyes widen as I glare at him. I know this fucking sucks, Mason, but I've never seen you so aggravated. Not even when we were kids. If you continue acting like this, nothing's gonna improve. It's just going to be another bomb waiting to be set off. For a moment, I believe my words are reaching Mason. His eyes fall to the sand below us as he jerks his arm away, continuing to pack. Then he laughs. He holds his sides, wiping a tear away as he picks up the towels next to me. You really need to get better at acting tough, man. What? Asshole, I'm trying to... Mason interrupts me by ruffling the hair on my head. I smack his arm away, but he just continues smiling, a small giggle escaping from the trenches of his throat. Zeke, I'm fine. No need to worry about me, okay? Let's just get back to the car and head to the library, alright? I try to give him a rebuttal, but Mason is already hopping to the car by the time I could think of something. The image of him giggling is staying into my brain. What a fake-ass smile. It doesn't take long to get to the car, but I'm already out of breath by the time we make it. Navigating the rocky trail up from the tide poles to the town is more work than I thought it would be. Mason opens the trunk, checking the towels on, before sitting on the edge of the vehicle. He clicks his feet together, some sand flying off of him as he does so. Despite most of the sand having already been brushed off my feet from the towels, I sit next to him once he stops, getting the last few grains out of my fur. Unlike Mason, I use a comb to sift the gunk out. It's not a graceful method, but it works. I just don't want to muddy up the library when we get there. Oh my goodness, could that be? My ears perk as I hear the elderly voice coming in our direction. I look up to see an old couple, a woman in a pink tee and overalls, with her husband donned with a checkered shirt and jeans. It takes me a moment to pin their identities, but once I do, the memories of them flood back. Holy smokes! I quickly self-censor as they approach. They're elderly, and the people here are a bit old-fashioned, so I need to cool the profanity down for a bit. The woman, a pica, squeals as she runs over, handing the flowers she was carrying over to her husband. Oh my goodness, is it really the Hames brothers? I lean back to bed as she approaches, her snout a bit too close for comfort. Yes, it's us. Hello. Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't know if you remember us. I'm Marianne, and this is my husband, Warren. We used to go to church together. It's nice to see you again, Mr. and Mrs. Gibson. Oh, no need for that. We're all adults here. My, it's been what? 10, 15 years, Warren? It's not hard to catch Warren's disinterest in the conversation. To be honest, if I were in his place, I don't think I'd want to catch up with some kids I haven't seen in over a decade either. So, how have you two been? It's been quite a while. I've been doing okay. I'm in university right now, but summer vacation. Kelsey ended up going to the same college I did, so she reconnected all of us, and well, here we are. Oh, little Kelsey's here too? How is she? She's alright. It's best not to tell him about the argument this morning, especially since it involved Jake. He was kind of a menace to the neighborhood as a kid, so I doubt they'd be unbiased. She seems to have bought my lie at least, smiling as she looks back at her husband. His face is unreadable, so I can't tell what's with him. Oh, what about you, Mason? Anything up with you? I'm good. I swear I could hear the few cents of the town snuff out as Mason responds. He's not looking at the couple. Instead, his head's completely turned to the side. His words are curt, with a tinge of venom seeping from them. Marianne chuckles a bit, though I can tell she is just as thrown off guard as I was. Well, that's good. Are you studying anything or working or... No, I'm helping to take care of my dad. It takes everything I have to not elbow him on the side. All I can do is chuckle to the two as I turn back to them. Marianne looks confused. I'm sure she's wondering whether she did something wrong. Warren's once indecipherable face now has a hint of anger, and he puts his hand on his wife's shoulder. We're going to head to the library soon, but hopefully we'll see you later in the week? It's a pitiful attempt to turn the conversation back to me, but I have to try something, anything to save this. The old woman smiles back, some sadness now in her expression. Her husband's scowl softens, but he firmly keeps his hand on his wife. Yeah, hopefully we'll see you again. Please, take care. I watch the two as they shuffle away. The male pike's stoic attitude turns into him flailing his arms around after giving the flower pot back to Marianne. I can only think about the words he's saying to her. My elbow strikes Mason's side, and he lets out a brief yelp before coughing up a storm. For once, I just don't give a fuck. Dude, what the hell was that? What was what? You! I can't help but laugh. Mason's indifference towards the situation makes me barely impressed. You have to be fucking joking. They didn't deserve that. They were old friends just asking how we were. Yeah, church friends. They only asked us how we were to improve their image. Improve their... Mason, are you hearing yourself? You don't know that. Regardless, if they were just church friends, if it took one second to actually talk to them... Yeah, what if it turned south? What if they flood more racist shit your way? Every other old hag we met has been judgmental to us. I'm not letting you get hurt again, Zeke. I'm utterly appalled. My mouth hangs agape and my brows furrowed. That's what this was all about? A stupid assumption? You know what? Fuck the library. What? The fight earlier obviously messed you up. You're not okay, and don't even say you are. The dog starts to protest, but even he realizes quickly that things would just drag on if he did. I pull Mason up, then I almost get hit in the snout as he whips his arm away, once he's on his feet. Let's just go back to the motel and rest, okay? Let's call it a day. I'm sick and tired of this. Huh? Mason, come on. You're clearly not having fun, and I can't babysit you. You're a grown adult. Then don't make my decisions for me! His reaction makes me hesitate to respond. Mason obviously needs rest, and for this day to just blow over. But to make his decisions for him would be hypocritical. The others still treat me like I'm in middle school, and forcing him to do what I want would be the equivalent of that. I feel like I'm about to regret this. Fine. Sorry, just chill with the hostility. I'll try. I'm sorry too, I just... Never mind. Let's just go. Mason lost the car as I swing the trunk down. walking up ahead of me. I just hope he cools down by the time we're at the library. It's not exactly a good place for an all-out brawl. Yeah, let's not get fucking kicked out. Let's save here for now. My throat's been hurting. So, yeah, that happened. Actually, this might be... Wait, actually, let me check. Yeah, this might be my longest playthrough of Silverstone to date. So, that's cool. But we're going to continue more because it's starting to get juicy. So, was Kelsey really telling the truth about Jake wanting to fuck Zeke? Was that it? I don't know. But, I don't know. Something about this is crazy. It is kind of weird, though, that Jake was trying to get relationship advice from his ex. That is a bit weird. I still want to fuck Silas. June, you're kind of cool in my eyes. Mason, you're kind of scary, but it's kind of attractive. So, anyway, we're going to continue this some other time. But in the meantime, thank you all so much for clicking on this video. If you enjoyed it, give it a like and subscribe if you're really interested. I'll leave a link to the visual novel in the description below if you want to play for yourself, as well as my Twitter and Blue Stripe, which will support me on those platforms. And as always, I'll be leaving a link to the visual novel me and my good friend Xeno Red Panda made for the February game jam called When You're Mine. Please don't show your support to it. If you do enjoy it, maybe consider rating it and comment on it on itchio. We love reading those. It makes our day. And as always, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye!